Hello, student organization treasurers. It's Dan Lenhart from the Center for Campus Engagement at Cleveland State. In this video, I'm going to show you how to submit a funding request, otherwise known as creating an allocation in the new Vikes Connect platform. I'm going to be using a fake student account that I have set up and a fake organization just for training purposes so that I can show you how to submit a funding request. So once you've logged into Vikes Connect, you're going to come up and you're going to go to Admin Dashboard. Once in the admin dashboard, as a treasurer, you should see the little $ for the finance tool for your organization. You're going to click on that. And then you're going to find your organization. Underneath student government, you should see the name of your organization appear. You're going to then make sure that everything is okay. You can open it, you can look at it. That's just a top level budget for your organization. That's sort of a placeholder. If you click the little plus signs, you can see how we have your budgets built within the platform. So you'll have your agency account and you'll be able to see your agency account number very quickly right here. And then all of your funding accounts. This is built out a little bit differently than it was in the last Vikes Connect. So you'll see that each one of these sub budgets here, think of them as like little buckets where you can put money in when you ask student government for funding. So to create a funding request, you simply click the Create button in the upper right-hand corner and select Allocation. Once this form appears, you're essentially going to fill this out. Now, unlike last year, you can submit one request for multiple things. So last year, for example, if you wanted to ask for funding for an event and also funding for travel, you had to submit 2 funding requests. In this new system, all you need to do is submit 1 funding request, and I'll show you how that works. So first, you're going to find your organization. You're going to find the name. Answer these questions. If you are a sport club, say yes. Sport clubs do not receive funding from student government. They receive funding from the Sports Club Council. So if you are a member of a sport club, you do not submit funding requests using Vikes Connect. So you would say no in this instance. If you are law school, you would say yes. You receive your funding from Student Bar. And you'll see once you select yes, SBA or Student Bar Association questions will come up. If you say no, we assume then that you receive your funding from student government. And then give it a title. You'll notice anything with a red asterisk is required. So you'll say, in this example, we'll say we're going to ask for funding for event and travel to conference. Here you can give a description of what you're asking for. If you wish, you could give a little bit of details. There's going to be more questions that you're going to answer that will give more details. So you're not required to give it a description, but you can. Then you start answering the questions. And here is where you can select what funding are you wanting. So you'll see that you have a choice between a one-time 150 request for event, request for travel, or request for other needs. In this instance, in this example, we're going to say event and travel. So we're asking for 2 different things. We're asking for money for an event and for travel. And because we selected event and travel, we're going to have to answer questions about each thing we're asking for. So I'm just going to put in the word sample in here just so that we can get through the form. This is just a one-time event. Give it the date. Attendance for the event, I'm just going to say 50. Just say, yes, I've already asked for the space. I would suggest that you reserve the space if you're asking for money for an event, so that you have the space at least reserved for your event. If you don't end up getting funding, then you can cancel the event. Okay. So they just are asking some questions of you. Answer the questions. Again, I am just going to put in the word sample just to get through the event. And you notice now we go to the traveling. And you would put in all the information that it's asking. Again, I'm just using the word sample just to get through the end of the form. If you were a treasurer last year for the your organization, you'll notice that most of the questions that are being asked of you are the same questions that student government asked last year. Okay, so once you've filled out all of this information, now we come to the funding details part. And I want you to pay close attention to this little add button right over here, because that's going to become very important in this example. So we're asking for two different things. Again, money for an event and money for travel. So the first thing we're going to say is we're going to ask for the event money. And here, now, when it asks what budget do you want to put the money into, you're going to select your organization and then go down to SGA funding. In this example, we're going to say funding, event for funding, and put in how much we're going to request. And in this example, I'll say $1,000. Okay. You'll notice at the bottom here that it'll add up the total request. Organizations may not receive more than $4,000 in any year. So that fall and spring semester. Okay. Although this area is not required for uploading budget details, we strongly urge you to do this. The reason why it's not required, because if you're selecting the 150, you don't have to give a reason or breakdown. So we can't make this required. But if you're asking for money for an event, other supplies, or travel, you want to have a budget breakdown. You want to show SGA, Treasurer, and Finance Committee how you arrived at this dollar figure. And so that they know that you just didn't make that number up, that you came to that number because you saw how much the food was going to be and how much entertainment and security and so on and so forth. And so you're going to upload that here. You can do it as a Word document. You can do it as a spreadsheet, whatever. Okay, so we've asked for money for the event. Now we want to ask for money for travel, so we're going to click the add button. And you notice it opens up another one. So now we're going to ask for travel. Money for conference. And here in the budget, we're going to open up your budget, go to the SGA funding, and select travel funding. And in here, we say $1,200. Okay. So you notice here now, there is your total. And then upload your file here for the budget breakdown for your travel. How did you arrive at that $1,200? When you're all done, you simply scroll up to the top and click submit. And that's it. That's how you submit a funding request. Now I'm going to take you into the screen of what it looks like behind the scenes so that you can see this. Okay, so now this organization, this fake organization, we had them submit a funding. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into Bikes Connect. All right. So I'm going to go to the organization. That was the fake organization. Okay, so sorry, I got to go into the finance and search for fake. There it is. When I open this up, you'll notice that they got funding. So when they are approved in this bucket, this SGA event funding bucket, you can see they got money in there. They also asked and received the one-time 150, so you could see it there. So when you as a treasurer go to spend that money, you're going to create an expenditure. Now, I will have more detailed training on creating an expenditure, but one of the things I do want to point out is when you come to this point where you're being asked what budget you want to take it out of, let's say, for example, you were going to pay a DJ, and so you were going to use that event budget. You would open this up, find your organization, go to the SGA funding, and select the event funding bucket. And it'll even tell you how much you have available. So that's how the whole system works. If you do have any questions, please email me at d.lenhart@csuohio.edu. Thanks for watching.